Hey, how's it going? I'm Chris with PearsonCopy.com, and I'm here to help your brand make more sales with email. As a part of my 100 emails in 100 days breakdown challenge, I'm going to be breaking down the welcome email at the time that I got it from Moonshine Golf. So what caught my attention? One, I started seeing their ads on Facebook, so I clicked on them and checked out their site. Their brand looked pretty rad. I don't golf myself, but their positioning and the way they're actually sharing the brand and breaking into the golf industry in general, I thought was pretty unique. I thought it was pretty cool. So that got my attention. I joined their list, and this is the welcome email that I got from them. So yeah, I'm going to break this down for you, pull out some insights. You can take that back to your brand, hopefully use them to make more sales with email. And yeah, so let's dive in. First, we'll talk about the subject line. We're stoked to have you. I think this is pretty standard. It's not the welcome to brand framework or the direct offer framework, but it does address the person directly. It's saying, "Hey, we're excited that you're here. You're in the right place. This is the right decision, right?" So yeah, once you get into the email, you start with this image here of, I'm assuming these are the three founders, with the tagline here: "Laid back golf apparel with an outdoor country vibe." So this already, with the way with the dress, with the image, with the tagline here, Moonshine Golf is actually going against the grain here. They're being contrarian, right? Because most golf apparel companies are pretty straight laced. They follow tradition. They follow what you would expect most golf apparel companies would offer. But Moonshine is going against the grain a bit, and that's what they're saying here: laid back golf apparel with an outdoor country vibe. They mentioned also too that their apparel has an outdoor country vibe that can easily transition from the course to a hike to the local bar. So you don't have to worry about changing your outfits or about how you look when it comes to golf. You can look good throughout the day. You can go golfing, go hike, go to a bar, etc. And you don't really have to change your clothes. That's kind of the laid back apparel that they're offering. So I think it's pretty neat. I think it's definitely contrarian. It's definitely not what your typical golf apparel company offers. So yeah, we'll dive into the copy here. Hello, we're stoked to have you on the crew and wanted to share more about who we are. So that's great. I like that. You're setting expectations, saying, hey, this is what this email is about. The one thing about this email I think I would add is why this stuff matters to the reader. So yeah, and I'll share that as I read the rest of this copy, because I think answering the question, so what? Why does this matter to your reader? Why does this matter to your ideal customer? Is going to make this copy 10 times stronger. Founded by three childhood friends. There's a story there, which I think they should share if they don't already. I'm assuming they share it on their about page, which they link here, but I would put it right in the email. Moonshine Golf is a brand for golfers who may not fit the traditional mold. Okay, what does that mean? I bet the three childhood friends story could talk about traditional molds and how these three stuck together through childhood. They were always going against the grain. They were breaking the rules. People told them they had to follow rule XYZ, but they wanted to do ABC. There's probably a story here of where this not fitting the traditional mold comes from. Like there's an origin story here, and I think they could expand on that. That's it teases it, and I bet it's on their about page. But I would tell that story right here in the email. We're building community by partnering with some of the brightest stars in country music. Who, supporting our armed forces? Which ones? Endorsing rising athletes. Again, who? And rewarding our brand ambassadors. Who are those people? So this is their mission, right? So they have their backstory, their origin story here with this one line, and then they have their mission of what they're trying to do. So it's great. This is great. You're supposed to mention this stuff in your emails, and they are. And I would say the childhood friend thing could be its own email. The mission of building a community, that could be its own email as well. You can make those two different emails now since starting this one. And you could talk about these people specifically. You could tell the story of each one of these. Pick one of these people, like from the armed forces or country music stars or something like that, and tell their story of like how they connected with those people. You could do an email per person of these categories and say, hey, this is an armed forces person. This is a country star. This is a rising athlete that we're sponsoring or working with. This is a brand ambassador who's out there sharing our mission and trying to help us out. And you could send an email in your welcome series for each of those people and tell their story. Because what that's going to do is those four people plus your founders, it's going to give people an opportunity to connect to different types of people with the brand. So they're connecting with the personality, not necessarily the brand, but that emotional connection with the person will transfer to the brand, which means that they're going to make purchases and stick around, right? So yeah, that's why I would make those different emails. You could test that and see how it goes. We are deeply committed to making gear that is as tough as the people who wear it. Okay, so there's a little contrast here: laid back golf apparel with an outdoor country vibe. So the contrast here is laid back golf apparel, laid back, not strict, not traditional, with an outdoor country vibe. So outdoor country vibe, you're getting a little bit more of that with this is gear that is as tough as the people who wear it. So that right there, that's a selling point. That's a unique selling proposition. And I would expand on that. That could be its own email. This line right here could start its own email. So, and then our laid back golf apparel has an outdoor country vibe that can easily transition from the course to a hike to the local bar. A story or maybe an anecdote of how this actually functions. Like tell the story of somebody actually doing this. Maybe there's a story of one of the founders or the founders going for a golf round in the morning, then going out on a hike, or maybe they do a hike in the morning, golf in the afternoon, and then bar at night. And they tell that story of going through that process of like what they were trying to do and how the problem of having traditional golf gear, you couldn't just do that. You had to change shoes, you had to change this, you had to change shorts, shirts, whatever, because you couldn't do those things. You had to change clothes. And they could tell the story of that problem of, the origin story of like being three childhood friends, and then the story of how they figured out that they're going to solve this problem of having laid back gear that could go hiking and at the bar and the course without having to change. Like that story, that's a story. That's a product creation story, right? And so they could talk about how they created their first product because of this desire to not have to change, to just go from one thing to the next to the next. That's its own email too. If you'd like to learn more, check out our About Us and give us a follow on Instagram. So you got your About Us, which the stuff that I mentioned about these things in this copy above is probably on their About page. They probably cover that on the About page and maybe the other pages on their site, which is great. And then give us a follow on Instagram. So they use social. They're using Instagram, and they want you to go over there and check them out there, which is fine. I think that you could probably do a social email saying, "Hey, over on Instagram, this is what we do over there. If you're interested in that, go check it out." Do that as its own email too. This one email has anywhere from 4 to maybe 6 or 7 different emails you could make on their own in your welcome series. Something else too that you could do, you can add to this is a Q&A. So a lot of people have questions about golf gear and apparel, golf apparel, and if it'll fit them, what the quality is like, what the material is like, etc., length, all that stuff. And you could do a Q&A email as well as a part of your welcome series to get people in. So yeah, there's this one email has a ton packed into it that just touches the surface on each thing. And so you could send this as your first one. The second one could just go through this email and just send one email per basically line and just expand on everything and get people into the brand, right? Tell the stories, get them emotionally connected, get them thinking about, okay, I want the laid back golf apparel that has an outdoor country vibe. That's me. I want to buy this. And you get them into the brand and the personalities that are behind it. Then you have your sign off here. Thanks again, and see you out there. I'm assuming out on the course, out in the world. And then you have your signatures here from the founders. And then you have a follow-up or a follow here on Instagram because they want people over on social. So overall, I think this email does great. I think that there's a ton of opportunity inside this email with all the stories like I mentioned, and building out a welcome series. If they haven't already, the welcome series could be a pretty substantial part of this because you're selling a lifestyle really with this, a lifestyle. A brand as a part of a lifestyle. So having that welcome series going through these, I think is a huge insight on this one. That's the one big insight is expand, bring them into the brand in different ways, stories, anecdotes, case studies, reviews, Q&As, behind the scenes, all those types of things can help bring somebody into the brand and connect. It gives them opportunities to connect with the brand and the people behind it, which means that creates opportunities for them to buy stuff when they're ready to buy. So with that being said, I hope you can take that one big insight away from this and expand your own welcome series. Take that back to your brand, use it, see how it goes. Let me know if you get some great results. I want to talk to you and see how it went. Otherwise, check out my other videos. At the recording of this video, I have roughly 91 videos here on the channel, going to 100 as a part of a breakdown challenge. So stick around for that. So go ahead and subscribe. Get notifications every time a video goes up. And in the meantime, thanks for watching.